Hello, friends. This is John Clan Third with episode 91 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast, and we're going to review X-Men Volume 6, Issue 29. So let's get to it. This is also considered the 2021 volume, and this is written by Jerry Duggan. Artist is Joshua Casera, who is amazing to follow on Twitter. Color artist Marte Gracia, letter VC Clayton Cowles, design Tom Muir and Jay Bowen. This incredible cover has Doctor Doom on it. Looking over as his D-Men are fighting the X-Men, consisting of ShadowKate, Miss Marvel, and Logan Wolverine. And if I'm recording this on Friday, December 8th, and they revealed some of the X-Men comics for March, and issue 35, I guess spoilers, is going to have Ileana and Kate Pride reuniting with Lockheed, like, as a, I don't know, it looks like an afterthought on the cover, but we're going to get Shadow, Flame, and Magic back in the same title, so March. And I think what I'm going to do, because we can't get to Great Falls every week, I'm just going to start ordering, like, I'm going to find out if Lockheed's in a comic, and then buy that comic through eBay because it's relatively cheap that way. Though the post office did forward my Peach Mamako X-Men 25 cover a little bit, which isn't great, but maybe they won't do that going forward. So we'll try it that way. But I think that's the only way to really do one issue purchases. So then this issue opens, but anyways, issue 35 or 32, reuniting the entire podcast about it. And I even updated a post with it at shadowandflameofmagic.com and Twitter. My Twitter account's Jackal SII, and lots of Lockheed content I did today. A lot of that discussion about that comic. It was a pretty amazing way to end the week. So this issue opens with Krakoa Lynn, with Xavier about to announce his the House of X, which is fun as this is during the fall of X, so now we're going back to the origins. That's just good storytelling. And Xavier is about to address the world, but then Doom interrupts him, telling him that he's going to fail because of you. And Doom even has his own Cerebro, uh, which he looks like Doom looks a little weird with just a different helmet on. But he's just walking around Latveria having a chat, and Latveria is not gonna allow Xavier to do his thing, so it's a big old no from him. And that he's gonna keep his own mutants fine. And we get to know these characters, though they're in my head. I don't have them memorized, but we get the credits page, which would have been fun if they got the demon. Oof, the demon. Oh man, I don't think I ever realized demon and demon sound off too close for comfort. So the cast is Wolverine, Logan, ShadowKate, Miss Marvel, Doctor Doom. Welcome to Latveria. In the brutal aftermath of Orcus's assault at the Hellfire Gala and ruthless anti-mutant campaign, Sync and Talon have stepped up to lead what remains of the X-Men in order to protect every mutant they can. Recently, the X-Men were made aware of a previously unknown group of mutants who were unaffected by Xavier's mental push to flee through the gates. Probably because the Latveria didn't have a gate. ShadowKate and Miss Marvel were deployed to Europe to meet with Wolverine in an effort to meet and rescue these mutants. However, when they search leads to Latveria, they find themselves, and that implies they stumbled onto it, but they knew where they were going. They find themselves face to face with none other than Doctor Doom and his legion of mutants. So maybe that's how they're being promoted in the thing. Oh, so we get a data page. So this is very helpful, but it's just not in my head. The House of Doom, the Seven Daggers of Latveria, the Dreamer, younger of the twins by 3 minutes, has developed the power to enter dreams. When he's properly trained, all the secrets of mankind will be opened like a book to Doom. Iron Cloak, the twin girl, gifted with the ability to bestow invulnerability by touch. The invulnerable subject lapses after redacted, and then redacted name. She's not ready to serve and may never be. She will stay where she is until she changes her mind. Nerium, my eyes are upon her without wavering. The weather is fair now, but I question her allegiances after the change of the season. What? Like, whose point of view is this written from? Slag. Skix is how I think it's pronounced. Zik. So I imagine the Z is silent, or it just makes a big sick. Blood is magma and his skin is rock. The hardest part of his body is his brain. I do wonder if his psychology negatively affects his decision making. I will see how he does on his latest furrow. Oh, that's right, it's from Doom's point of view. Volta Doom. She's the finest of them. The gift of her Doom spear has bonded us. She could be an heir. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then another redacted name. His powers are too volatile to control at the moment, and so he shall remain in thought until desperate measures are called for. 1 week. And this page is amazing. I don't know. I like time-lapse photos done in comics. So it's 1 week, month one, year one, and it's week one. And we just see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students or mutants and the two twins, Volta, Zvik, and Nerium. And then we see that they're all dressed in Doom outfits. So imagine Doctor Doom, but with big old D's on their belts like they're Donatello, made of metal, of course. Green cloaks, no mask, because that's a Doom specialty. And no sleeves, it looks like. Or 3 of the 5 ripped off their sleeves to show off their arms. And then year one, twins are still wearing those exact outfits, but I guess individualized. Whereas the other 3 are just doing their own thing. Nerium, who's like a plant lady, has 4 arms, 2 on each side. Imagine if you had like 3 on one side and 1 on the other side. That'd be irritating. How are you wear your shirts? Well, I guess you work for Doom and then you, or live with Doom and then he tailors you. Suvik goes shirtless. He's like the size of a house, it looks like, or the width of one. And Volta looks, I don't know, like the lightning gal from Superman comics, whose name should be Lightning Loud. Oh, is it High Voltage? Or is that the episode she was on? But it looks like her, but with like a white stripe over one eye. And she's blue, Mystique blue, with gloves and her Doom spear. And Doom's addressing them, and that weak foundation will send Coca-Cola beneath the waves. Okay, this is in response to how Xavier is going to be the downfall of Coca-Cola, and he was. And the mutant nation's flaws are many, and there is a single critical point of failure. Charles Xavier. And these pages look amazing. You can see Kazera's just high detail he gave Doom's mask. Charles Xavier. When the mutants he's gathered have been largely chewed up and spit out and the sun sets on the mutant nation, the X-Men will invade Latveria and attempt to kidnap you. Latveria, now. And so on having the high ground is Doom, then on the ground is Wolverine and Miss Marvel, and ShadowKate's on top of another rock. And Kate has quite the history of Doom. Not only did he try to steal Illyana's soul sword from her in Excalibur, which led to him blasting Lockheed putting him in the hospital in Excalibur 40. I think he shoots him in 37. So there's that. But also when the Mutant Massacre happened, the original one, she got zapped by Riptide, and no. Harpoon was going to hit Rogue, and then Kitty jumped in front of Harpoon, took a hit un that phased her permanently, and Reed Richards couldn't put her back together, and then Doom was like, "Well, I'll do it. Doom will do it." And then Doom did, or at least started like working with Richards. They did it together. I'm trying to think, is there a third Doom story? Those are the two big ones I could think. And then recently, and by recently I mean like within the Krakoan age, we were treated to another Fantastic Four X-Men miniseries, and Doom was in there. Oh, he was trying to bring Franklin Richards' powers back on, and the X-Men were trying to make it very clear that Krakoa will be a home for Franklin Richards, which is then Kate's trying to do a bunch of fun stuff in there. Uh, I'm trying to think, is she Kate in that or is she Kitty? And this is pre-Krakoa, so maybe it was 6 years ago. No. It's definitely post Krakoa, but I think it's early days, and because Kate's wearing her training outfit, but with the red handkerchief, which I don't know. I'm so over her ever being dressed in yellow again. Like blue is her clear color, and it works amazingly for her. So yeah, so three instances of Doom. That's just fun. And so Doom's addressing, and remember well what I have said, my fellow variants. The mutant day of treachery is at hand. And Wolverine's like, sounds like the Tin Man's been feeding you a bunch of crap. Can we just skip the brawl? We're on a clock. And Miss Marvel's trying to just be like, no, wait. Now say goodbye to your sparkler, kid. And he tries to like slash Volta's spear. And she's like, I am Volta Doom, and you are trespassing. And Logan gets zapped. Miss Marvel's like, as I would say, Volta's spear is vibranium. So I guess we've seen these mutants before, but this is a first for me. The finest vibranium, not like the low quality shields, stilt legs, and assorted refuge you've trained to dodge. Which is like, oh man, is that a swipe at Stiltman character I haven't seen in forever? Wolverine's hands are, well, his one hand is melted, essentially. It's like raw. Hey Vic, we don't even gotta call this a jailbreak. You can say this is a work release or something. The world's gone to hell and every mutant needs to stand together. And ShadowKate's finally getting her sword out. We're wasting time arguing while the skies are filled with sentinels. And I was commenting on Twitter about how ShadowKate's at like the lowest point in her she's ever been at, and then Ileana's leaving Realm of X on a high note, and so they have not been this polar opposite in forever, and so hopefully Ileana and the return of Lockheed, we might get a kinder, gentler Kate Pride back, or at least maybe one that can laugh again and high five again, perhaps. We're wasting time arguing while the skies are filled with sentinels. And Volta's like, we're not afraid of sentinels or robots. And they haven't come to that area at all. And Miss Marvel jumps in the middle of them. Whoa, we didn't come here to fight. Like, of course you did, child. In fact, the last time Wolverine stepped on the variant soil, he murdered one of my subjects. Which would be helpful to get an editor's note about where this is. Oh, man, you got the better of me masking a sin, but it was you who condemned that mutant to death when you stuffed him like a ham in one of your damn doom bots. And then Skuvik punches Wolverine like hard in the head, and he just goes flying. What'd he call me? No more playing around. And ShadowCase is like whacking Sif with her swords, and it's going chonk, chonk, chonk. Doom doesn't care about mutants. And then we get a flashback to Volta as she's just in, I don't know what town this is, but she's just pretty much lightning blasting everyone. And I guess, and we see now that the lightning mark on her face goes all the way to the side of her face. So it's her right over her right eye, and then to the right of her head, and to the back of her head. Then Doom shows up to with a spear in hand, and then it helps her channel her powers. So it's like, oh, that's nice. And like a real jerk, she points her spear at Kate, and then like electrifies her. You know nothing of Doom's compassion. And visually, it just looks like a harpoon coming at Kate, and that's triggering. And then Miss Marvel, with a fun snatch sound effect, takes the spear away from her. It's like, I promise I don't want to fight. As Kvik comes at him, or her, and then Wolverine scratches him from, well, not scratches, but impales with his claws. But I do. Calm yourself, Iron Cloak. Slag is made of Luctarian rock, and his toughness is beyond mortals. And then we see Doom on a horse, which is fun. As he finds Civic at wait, what did he call him? Oh, Iron Cloak. Oh no, Iron Cloak's the twin. Slag is his mutant name. But I started getting the used to the idea of saying Civic, which maybe sounds Russian in my head, or perhaps Laverian. And Iron Cloak is, nope, that's the twin. Slag is on the old chain gang breaking rock. He recruits him easily, and Slag just breaks his chains on him because he's like, I could have freed myself at any time. And Doom's like, as I intended, your prison was of the mind. If we've found your senses in this place, then come. And Iron Cloak wants to get in the fight. He's like, no, no, Iron Cloak. Neither you nor your brother, the Dreamer, are to engage. Observe the brutality and learn. You may spend your lives fighting these X-Men and their ilk. Slag bleeds lava as the unkillable Dolt is discovering, and Miriam has yet to engage. And then we see Wolverine slice Slag, and then there's just lava all over Wolverine. She's a Laverian land in mind and body. And Miriam does look pretty cool. She has like a jumper, like a worker's outfit, but with a deep V, of course, and wooden arm, like limbs. And she tangles up Wolverine. She can heal or she can grievously harm. And I guess her pointy finger stabs Wolverine in the face, and then he just starts pussing, and it is super gross. And Kate slashes off. But I guess Miriam can extend her fingers to turn into vines, and Kate slices through all of them, separating the two. But Miriam doesn't sound like, it's not that classic poison ivy thing of like slice one of the limbs and ivy like screams. It's literally just like, well, about to regrow immediately. You're a mutant. How can you fight us? I am Bavarian. I am the spirit of this land. Which is nice because they're, yeah, we're mutants and proud, but also Bavarian first. Like, it's country before race, I guess. Yeah, the mutant race. And then we see Nerium's in a circus, and the ringleader, I guess, missed opportunity to not make him the circus of the ringmaster from the circus of crime. We call it the poison of the forest, and by decree of doom, she's here to entertain you with her. And then Doom attacks the ringmaster or ringleader. Doom bade the mutants be found, not enslaved for amusements. Or it's like, why do you tell a circus guy to go look for the mutants? Like, what else was he gonna do? And she thanks him, my liege. Come and meet the others like you. And Miriam's like, it's just as Doom foretold as she announces attacks Miss Marvel, dropping, fleeing the harpoon, and that goes straight to Volta, which I imagine works like a magnet. And Volta wants the X-Men to surrender. We only came here to liberate mutants. And all the mutants, I guess, in agreement are, I say, we are free. Then we'll leave you with your ruler and be on our way. I'm afraid you cannot leave, Doom says. And in an awesome page reveal, until you have dined with Doom. And I love how like back to back weeks from Thanksgiving to, so maybe not, but it's back weeks. We see the X-Men eating, having Thanksgiving, the sewers, and Invincible Iron Man. Which that was a decent issue that came out recently. Emma and Tony got all the Mysterium, but they did it with somewhat help from Star Fox, who is the worst. And we get a full page of like the meal they're eating, and it looks amazing. Uh, the twins are on either side of Doom, and then Volta, Slag, and Nerium are on one side, and then same order: ShadowKate, Wolverine, Miss Marvel. There can't be much worth eating down your horrid tunnels, and my chefs have prepared a special halal dishes for Miss Marvel, which is sweet. Like, oh, Doom. Oh my God, Doctor Doom knows about me? I don't know how I feel about that. As she like eats her what looks like peas. Logan, don't Kate. Or don't Cat. I need a lot of calories when I heal, and they rolled us. And Slag saying it was a pretty good fight, but he's also hungry. So Kate turns to Doom. So Victor, you said you knew Coca-Cola was doomed to fail. You knew we were coming. So you're so smart. What happens next? I like how she calls him Victor. Like, yeah, we have a long history. The gift of foresight is precious. And then he drinks. I know it's a weird panel because it's a side angle. Doom closes his eyes when he drinks. But like, are these cups made special so that they like pour in a narrow fashion so they don't spill over Doom's mask? Like, how does he eat with that thing on? Like, or is the cup empty and he's just doing it for show? Oh, but in the next panel, he's like wiping his mouth with a napkin. So I don't know, but maybe he does that after every bite, in a way. Coca-Cola was destined to fail. Charles was not ready for the crown upon his head. I knew my Laverians who shared your genetic lineage were in danger, so I closed my borders to you. Now they are alive when your people are, well, they're not here, are they? And then Dooms gets up to walk away. The answer to what happens next is a gift I'm not ready to give. But if you have lived good lives, then perhaps you can call your friends to your side before you are destroyed. And as for the last Krakoan, Xavier is in a jail of his own making. Either he will destroy himself or he will emerge as a much more interesting person. Krakoans, begone by dawn. Doom bids you good night. And with that, Doom's done those. And Volta says, perhaps Doom is the answer to your problems. You could ask for asylum. Your enemies fear to tread here. And Kate's like, Volta, lady, we got enough fastest to deal with. And it's like, oh man. I'm like, all right. And Miriam, well, since your teammates have declared that our shared genes shall be ripped from the earth, then it is an opportunity arises to take them off the board completely. What would trigger a response from the House of Doom? And you will certainly have my arms and vines. And it's like, declare a then if an opportunity arises to take them off the board completely, that would trigger a response from House of Doom. So I guess she's just saying that Doom will help, but Siri, like Doom is willing to help if a sequence of events kick in. And then all the X-Men are happy. Um, Kate gives like this like knowing smirk. Wolverine tries to smile with a mouthful of food, and Miss Marvel is all smiles. All right, then. Later, back in New York City, and the X-Men are just like walking the streets, getting to their tunnel entrance. Well, that was a disaster. Actually, I think we lost the battle, but won the war. So that was all Doom way of signaling he'll fight if asked the right way. He knows they'll come for him. If he waits too long, there will be too few of us to fight back. Doom and his mutants would do the right thing. They need their faces slapped and their asses kissed. Sync will want to know the good news that the Very is in play. Sync, get ready to be happy. Oh God! And the, and their home looks just trash, like from the 91 Ninja Turtle movie. What the hell happened? Next, Fall of the X #1. Then find out where Sync and Talon went in X-Men 30. And then there's a final data page by Dr. Stasis. Good news, everyone. The trial of Cyclops and by extension, all of the Krakoa is scheduled to commence in Paris, France. I asked about Paris, Texas, because they have the death penalty, but we have some sway with the judiciary, and I think we'll be able to sort everything we need, including a body. It's highly likely the remaining mutant resistance will be unable to resist the urge of attacking the court and freeing Cyclops. But we'll be ready. It will only boost our case for many of the hard days to come. Liquidating the mutants will trigger the next phase of our operation to bring order to put to our planet. Liquidating the mutants is such a disgusting term. We need the headlines from the trial to make sure hordes of mutant tyranny are playing on every screen around the world before we engage the mutates that we know we must, i.e., the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, etc. Always like a two example. We've been working very hard at this campaign for a long time. Those of you who were involved in planning the protocols that predate Krakoa have been laboring for humanity for years. Soon the hard parts will all be over and we can set apart reordering the world. Until then, keep your eyes on the prize. Our species is counting on us. We have gained dominance over Earth, and now we will ensure that our domain will not be threatened from within again. Regards, Dr. Statius, Director, Human Resources. P.S. Speak to your department head if you wish to be considered for retention after our victory. There will be some work to be cleaning up and making sure that human carriers of the X gene comply with the reproductive laws that will be implemented in the next few months. So yeah, Fall of the House of X #1, which promises to have Kate center of it. And then our checklist, Follow the Fall, Miss Marvel, New Mutant 4, great issue. ShadowKate's there. We have an episode up about that. Realm of X 4, good conclusion. We have an episode for that. Alpha Flight 5, X-Men 29, you're listening to. Dark X-Men 5 comes out next week. X-Men Red 18, Astonishing Iceman 5, Uncanny Spider-Man 5, and Wolverine 40. I'm excited about Dark X-Men 5 and Uncanny Spider-Man 5. I would love for that to be an ongoing series, especially since Kurt hasn't even gotten his first symbiote nor fought a goblin. So can he really truly call himself a Spider-Man? I think he could do to be a member a little bit longer. And that, everyone, was X-Men 2021 issue 29, or the volume 6 version if you so choose. Thank you so much for listening. And I've been making advent calendar videos every morning on my YouTube channel, Jacko SII, and continue to do so. Looking forward to doing it for the going forward until Christmas. It's an advent calendar after all, but we're really just having fun doing it and having a lot of fun on Twitter as well, which I already promoted at Jacko SII. Blue Sky, same name. And thank you everyone for listening. You can tell a friend to listen. That help make the podcast grow, and give a like and subscribe on whatever platform you're currently listening to. And I'll talk to you next time when we review a What If issue that I think I'm already 1 week behind, but they haven't promoted the What If episode like start time either. So But still, I know it's coming. It's December. Let's get to it. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk at you next time. Bye.